Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast, the only podcast that's happy to be awake at 5 a.m. on this week, a Sunday or a Monday. We are at week 18. Happy New Year to you, Danny. Happy New Year to everyone who's listening. It is a massive time of year. Week 18, we've got college football playoffs going off, if that's your cup of tea. So, enormous week coming up, mate. How are you feeling?
So good. It's been nice to be able to watch the college football during this week leading up to week 18. I love week 18. There's so much to play for. There are so many seeds still in the playoffs that haven't been decided yet. And then we've got some bloody incentives for players that are going to make some big bucks if they do some good things. And then we've got our 1K club all on the cards. This is such a big week. I can't wait.
It is. And I love that it's all Monday is huge. There's 2 games on Sunday, and then the rest of the games are all on Monday. So you've just got to strap into the couch, and you'll be set.
It's Monday, and they're all on at the same time. It's 8:25 a.m. I think our time, and it needs to be because otherwise, if some teams win, they'll bench. They do it on purpose, the scheduling, and that's why the times for these games weren't released until later this week because they're smart. They're smarter than us, that's for sure. A couple of smart heads up in the NFL, but means all the games are happening at one time. When normally Philly are playing, I don't like to watch Red Zone because I want to watch the game in full. But I'm going to have to sacrifice this week. It's going to have to be Red Zone or nothing. Or have a little quad box. You can quad box on DAZN too. That's not bad. So you can watch all the games all at the same time. It's tough. It's tough watching, but plenty of highlights to watch later in the afternoon too.
But that's why people trust us. They don't want to watch them all, so they trust us to be across them all. So we have to do that. It's fun. It's a big time of the year though. But some teams have made some moves, and my team's one of them. We've signed cornerback Trayvon Diggs, which is huge. I feel like Micah Parsons had a bit to do with this to bring him into the building. He's one of his best friends. He's played with a couple of our players back in college as well, so he's been a little bit injured and up and down in form, but I don't hate this move for us.
Yeah, probably a smart move for you just to try and keep Micah Parsons happy, especially with him being out for the I don't know how long he's got left on his contract. I wouldn't expect that much longer after this injury, So you bring in someone to keep him happy, more likely that he's going to stay and want to sign again with you. So very, very smart move by the Packers. How much Diggs actually goes out there and makes a difference, I don't really know. I'm not fully buying into the fact that, he's going to save your 3, 4, 5 game losing streak, whatever you're on. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's going to be the savior for that, but you need something. So bring on anyone you can, and even if it brings just better vibes or creates a little bit of a mental edge in the locker room, well, then it's worth it.
I do think we're at a 3-game skid at the moment, and I'm not confident in the way we go. We've signed a 4th-string quarterback. We've signed a couple of different O-line, I think, and maybe another running back. So it really does stink that we're going to be playing, reserves and not actually having a crack this week, which, depending on how people are feeling, I don't hate it, but I hate messing with form. So going in there and playing someone on a 4-game losing streak is not how you want to get into the playoffs.
I'm pretty sure the Vikings are 7.5-point favorites in this game.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Because the Packers you've settled in your spot, really. It's between the Eagles and the Bears. It's whoever finishes second. So, what's the point of you playing any players that are worth getting injured? But more importantly, if it's between the Eagles and Bears, who would you rather face? You hate the Bears, and I love my Eagles.
And it all depends on how you guys go. So, if the Bears lose and you win, we'll play you. If the Bears win, we play them. If you both lose, we play them. To be honest, mate, I still think you're a better team. So I don't really want to play you guys. I'd probably, even if you look back, we played them 2 weeks ago. We should have won. 2 minutes to go, we had the game wrapped up. We should have won. So I'd feel a lot more confident going into the game against them, even if it is at Soldier Field. A healthy Jordan Love, I feel like we can beat them. But a game full of emotion, and they're probably not the team. They'll be running high on emotion against us especially. So I want to say that I'd rather face the Bears, but if it comes down to emotion, I feel like they will beat us when it comes to that. So I don't want to face them either.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Eagles beat the Packers earlier in the year too. Let's not
But
forget
that's
that.
what I'm saying. Like I felt like we should have beaten the Bears. I'm not. I don't think we should have beaten the Eagles. So I'd
Mm.
be more confident against the Bears in the team that for 48 or 50 minutes we should have beat them.
Yeah, but you didn't at the end of the day, and
We
that was
didn't.
Brian Johnson, scheming up some beautiful stuff to get past you, which I think was like was very impressive. So the Bears are facing the Lions, but it's in Chicago, and then the Eagles are facing the Commanders, and the Commanders are playing their third string quarterback, Josh Johnson. I don't know anything about him. So I'm pretty confident. And Philly are playing in Kelly Green as well at home
Oh,
in Kelly Green. Hence the jersey on today. For those that aren't watching, I'm wearing my Kelly Green Saquon Barkley. Thank you very much. So super interesting. And then Caleb Williams is also trying to throw for his 4,000 yards. So both teams have a lot to play for. So it'll be really interesting who gets past who.
that is a nice little over 270. Remember that for anyone who's betting, he needs 270 on the dot. Is that right?
You're 270 on the dot.
Yeah. So hit him for overs of 270 because I feel like to be the first person ever on such a storied franchise like the Bears, he would want that, and I reckon the team would want that as well. Benny Johnson wants that to his record that he had the quarterback that threw the first 4,000 yards for the Bears. So I would be putting money on over 270 for Caleb. And I feel like the Lions, like I know that divisional games, they always are interesting, but I just get the feeling the Lions have just checked out this year.
Yeah, well, and they're out. Like they're confirmed out of the playoffs. They will still go out there and compete. I think they're not that sort of type of side where they're just gonna, go and let the Bears walk all over them. They really won't do that. Like, there's no way. Not in a divisional game. They'll want to go and Soldier Field and actually make a difference. But they are at the playoffs.
Mm.
So like it'll come to a point where it's like, well, if someone's going to have a season 12-month injury, they're not going to force a player to play through anything, any slight little niggle, just watching get dragged off the field.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're thinking ahead, going, if we finish fourth in the division, next year is a lot better than if we finish third in the division.
Yeah, well, they could be playing that game. That is the long game, very much the long game.
Yeah, they're out this year. Let's make next year a lot easier. We said that it starts off red hot. 2 divisional games, and they're both deciders on our Sunday. Saturday games for them, Sunday for us. Panthers versus Bucks, and then Seahawks versus 49ers. 2, realistically, the first game might be shit, but 2 great games, especially the Seahawks 49ers. I reckon that's going to be a classic.
Yeah, the first game between the Bucks and the Panthers, someone's going to have to bring an extinguisher to put out the dumpster fire that is the NFC South.
We called it.
Whichever team does bring the extinguisher, but are they both not going to end up with a losing record?
If the Panthers win, if the Bucks win, it'll be 8-9 each.
Yeah, which is wild. And then the Panthers need the Falcons to also win to be able to put them in that weird 3-way tie that's going on. But like crazy going to the playoffs with a losing record. The Panthers realistically should walk away with this. When they played the Seahawks last week, the Seahawks kind of blew them out towards the end, but the Seahawks didn't really look that good against the Panthers. Like, as far as the eye test went, like, there was some pretty ugly football out there. So if the Panthers just kind of tidy up a little bit on defense, and Bryce Young goes out there and actually hits his targets rather than throwing interceptions, if he does that, like, against this shaky, and I mean shaky, Bucks team, the end of the season for the Bucks has not looked great. Like, when we were chanting Baker Mayfield for MVP from our couch at home watching the screen. I don't know where he's gone because he ain't on the field. So I think realistically, this game really should be the Panthers to win. If they win, all said and done, over. They're straight in the playoffs, and that's like good on them. Young team, kind of exciting team. Good for the city of Charlotte to be able to get their team in there. But yeah, what an exciting time for the NFC South.
It's who doesn't want to lose the most that'll get in. So it's crazy to think, like you said, the Bucks can win and then not make the playoffs if the Falcons win, and then all 3 of them on 8-9, which would be incredible. And then I think it was the last 6 weeks, the best team out of that division is the Saints. They're 5-2 in the last 7 weeks, so, and they're going to be last by a few games.
So the Saints are actually playing the Falcons as well, which makes it even more exciting. But Tyler Shark has been going out there and putting up crazy numbers. Like, he's like 300 plus passing yards in 2 games, with no interceptions. Like no other rookie. There's like 3 or 4 other rookies that have done it in the past, and they're like big top name dogs that we're talking about here. So he went from what you called him was nowhere, shouldn't be on an NFL team, to now actually playing incredibly well towards the end of the season. You just need to find his feet and get given the chance. Like once they bench Spencer Rattler, it was the best thing for Shuck to go out there and shuck away, I guess.
He's played well enough that now you go into the next draft and think we probably don't even need a quarterback. Like we've found our man and we can build around him. They traded away, their I can't remember who it was, a couple of wide receivers, and since then he's gotten better. Like build around him and you might actually go somewhere in life with the Saints. So it's exciting for them. The next game, Seahawks versus San Fran, Christian McCaffrey's. It's all on him, I think. Like you said, Seahawks looked a little bit shaky last week, so they're going to have to tidy up a little bit themselves.
Yeah, 100%. Like, to me, this game is the 49ers realistically in the bag. But you say that, and then it's a divisional matchup, which always makes it, throws a spanner in the works. Sam Darnold's been playing incredible football. Don't get me wrong.
Number one seed on the line, too.
Number one seed is on the line, which, everyone wants that week one of the playoffs, I guess, bye, so they can, rest their players, rehab, soft training, real training, really build themselves back up to it. But I'm just not super confident in the Seahawks right now, where the 49ers are kind of coming in on a roll. We just watched Brock Purdy do some incredible things against those Chicago Bears. Like, he was moving all over the shops. He threw some form of dance move that I don't know what it's called, where he got into the end zone. The crowd was going nuts for it. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, passed for a bunch too. Really, really exciting football. But the 49ers can't play defense right now. The Bears just put points straight back on them. It was a pound-for-pound sort of matchup there. So the 49ers really need to sort out their defense, and you want to have your defense sorted if you're playing Sam Darnold. But then Sam Darnold needs to, tidy up a few things. It's going to be a hot game. I'm really excited for this game. This is probably the game of the week.
I feel like it'll be much like last week, or it'll just be punch for punch for punch, and they'll just run down and they'll score, and then they'll turn around and the Seahawks will score. But you're right, Sam Darnold and Smith and Jigba's just got to find that little bit of a spark again. And yeah, it'll be a really, really good game, I think. And San Fran, more for them as well. If they can secure the number one seed, they will be in San Fran for the entire playoffs. Obviously, the Super Bowl is in San Fran, so to not have to leave San Fran for the entire playoffs would be massive for them.
Insane. What a run home. If they can do that the whole way and then, make it to the Super Bowl, then they've got a home Super Bowl. You never have to pack your bag, which is absolutely crazy. Do I have a little fun fact for you about the Seahawks, though?
Oh, hit me.
So, in 2005, there was a new Pope elected.
Yeah. Right.
What's important about 2005?
Seahawks did something pretty good.
Seahawks won the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
2013, new Pope elected.
Yeah.
Seahawks won the Super Bowl.
Oh, I see where you're going.
2025, new Pope elected. Or whatever. I don't know if they're elected. You know what I mean? New Pope. And now we've got a Super Bowl in the cards and potentially a number one seed. Can you see the Seahawks getting back to the top of the Super Bowl?
It'll all come down to this week. If they can get the number one seed, then they go a long way towards keeping that Pope prediction alive.
Apologies for that. 2005, they lost the Super Bowl. Sorry,
I was going to say, I don't remember them winning it. But
they made it to the Super Bowl and lost. Still exciting, though. They still made it to the Super Bowl. So, 2005, Super Bowl lost. 13, Super Bowl won. 2025, new Pope. Where the Seahawks finish.
Super Bowl. Jags are playing the Titans, mate, to go 13-4, and we'll find it in our little, all our archives of Danny Webb saying the Jags will turn it around. You said 14-3 to start with, but you did adjust it to be 13-4. But they lost a couple of games early, so they have gone on a red hot streak. And you called this even with that early couple of losses.
Yeah, I did. I actually said that they would flip their record. So they were 4-13 last year. So which makes them 13-4. So I never once called 14. Never once called 14, which
maybe I called 14 to be real exciting, but
yeah. So I'm still bang on for this, and everyone you boys in the studios, you kind of had a little bit of an agreement, but I think that was just for the lols more than anything. Everyone else was laughing at me. Everyone on social media was at me, being like, they're not going to do this. Look at the Jags now. So Liam Cohen came in and absolutely changed this team. Absolutely changed it. And then they went off and got Jacoby Myers during the trade period, made a major impact. And Trevor Lawrence is out there playing the football that everyone expects him to play for when he was drafted. Now they're going in to play the Titans to get 13-4. On top of that, depending on how everyone else kind of finishes and shapes up, is really going to defend where they finish off in the playoffs. They need to go out there and win this game, which is really, really going to help me look like an absolute genius of an NFL podcaster.
We'll be clipping it and we'll be sending it out to the world. Don't worry. They're the only team that can finish in any playoff position from 1 to 7, depending how other results go. They are in the playoffs. They're safe, but they've still got to win the South, and they can win that and then still get the number 1 spot too. So a lot to play for the Jags. Hence why we'll see who we've got in our 1K club coming up, and it might involve the Jags, I think. He's been on a red hot tear the last few weeks as well. Old T-Law, he's on fire.
He's been doing some amazing things, and I think he knows what opportunity he has if they can get that number 1 seed. Anytime you can get that and have that little bit of a break, I think it's something Jacksonville are really going to need to make a big long run in the playoffs. But in saying that, they're looking pretty damn comfortable on both sides of the ball. Their defense is looking incredibly strong, which we love to see.
And just a nice little juicy one as well. Him for a rushing touchdown. He's had, I think, 4 in the last 3 weeks. So it's a nice little sprinkle on him for a rushing touchdown is not bad. MVP is going to wrap up this week. Obviously, we won't know who wins for a few weeks, but the games will wrap up. Stafford or Maye, they are the 2 top contenders at the moment. And I'll put to you, who would be a bit more stiff for actually missing out? Is it Stafford in his 37th year who's playing lights out, or Drake Maye, or Drake Maye, who is coming out second year and absolutely dominated? The Rams have got the Cardinals. Patriots have the Dolphins. So you think 2 games where they should do pretty well. So you can almost scrap this week and say, who's it come down to now?
Yeah, well, we've got to kind of look at Stafford struggling towards the end of the season, and the Rams going losing a couple of games, because we were talking that they were 100% no one's going to get past the Rams. It had a lot to do with their defense, and then getting a lot of injuries, and that's kind of what swayed it here, less on the shoulders of Stafford. But in saying that, if you're not winning games, you're not realistically going to win MVP. And now the Patriots are going to finish with a better record. I know it's not all about records, but these voters love to lean on the record. And Drake Maye just had the most beautiful layup against the Jets, right? Went into the Jets and just threw 4, 5 touchdowns and just absolutely dominated the game. It's going to be more about the narrative, I think, in this, which is a shame, rather than the football. So whether the Rams are playing the Cardinals, they should win. Patriots playing the Dolphins. Dolphins have actually looked a little bit better of late since benching Tua. So it might be a tougher game, which means Drake Maye might have to do more, which, voters are going to love. But it's going to come down to, for me, the narrative. Do you give it to the second-year player, or do you give it to the vet that probably only has a couple of years left? What creates a better story? What creates a better media attention? Oh, my God, this player who's only in his second year, he's playing for the Patriots. He must be the second coming of Brady, rah, rah, rah. You can write a perfect headline around that. But you also could write a great headline being hey, Graham's out here for the Rams has just gone out and got MVP.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's realistically going to come down to the record. And if the Patriots end up with a better record, they're probably going to give it to Drake Maye.
I think you got to look back as well, adding in just a little feather in Stafford's bow. We weren't even sure 2-3 weeks out from the season that he was going to be able to play with his back, and he's managed to not miss a game and play outstanding. Obviously, I think he's 41 or 42 passing touchdowns, so elite kind of stuff. We need him for 45 because we've got some money on that. So let's have a good day out against the Cardinals this week. Drake Maye, obviously, everyone's coming out and saying that they have had a very soft draw as well. So I don't know if that narrative comes into it, but you're right. I feel like, do you think a team that, obviously the Rams aren't going to win the NFC West, does that come into it as well? The fact that they haven't even won. Can you have an MVP that hasn't won his division?
Yeah, so Drake Maye's a current clear favorite at the moment. So it's probably because of that. You can't not win your division. Yes, the Patriots did have the easiest schedule on paper. Whether those teams actually came out and were better than what we thought and vice versa, but it doesn't necessarily matter. But he ended up with a better record and he's won his division. To me, it's Drake Maye's award to lose. So if he goes out and absolutely stinks it against the Dolphins, well, then they're going to give it to Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
But if he goes out and just does what he needs to do, to me, it's his award.
recency bias does come into it at the end of the season, doesn't it? Where, like, even if you go offensive player of the year, the first 12 weeks, Jonathan Taylor was a standout, but since then they've struggled a little bit. No one remembers the first 12 weeks. It's all about the last few weeks, and McCaffrey might come out and actually win it because of how he's finished off the season. So it'll be very interesting to see how the votes go, and who actually gets the votes, because Josh Allen is always thereabout, but again, he's not going to win his division, so do you give it to him? And I don't think you should, but he's always up there. To finish the season, mate, we've got the Ravens and the Steelers, and this could come down to be game of the week. Could be game of the year, the way that some of these games have gone lately. Aaron Rodgers coming out against Lamar Jackson, who said he's 100% playing and he's not giving up on these Ravens. Could be an absolute thriller to finish the season.
Yeah, so the Ravens are favourite, even though they're going into Pittsburgh to play this game. Aaron Rodgers obviously wants another playoff run. We really don't know if he's coming back next year, or everything's looking like he's not. And then for Lamar Jackson, who had like severe back spasms, and then he also came out and debunked your theory and everyone else's theory that he was sitting at home playing video games, staying up all night, falling asleep in meetings. He's like, I don't even do that in the off season. Why the fuck would I be doing it during the season? Which was great. It was so good. It was such a good interview. So he seems like really switched on, and he went out in full practice as well, and he was looking good out there, no issues with his back. So, he's going to be coming out firing. We were actually talking about, like, hey, they're playing a plus 500 team. Should they put out Snoop Huntley out there to actually have a shot at the Steelers, like someone who's won against 500 teams? But they're not. They're going with Lamar. King Henry's just come off like one of his best games against your Packers. So it would be really interesting to see how this kind of shapes up. Is DK Metcalf back or is he still suspended?
Nah.
That's a major problem. That's a major problem for the Steelers, because he's been the biggest weapon on their offense this whole entire year. So you take him out of it, it's not looking fantastic offensively for the Steelers. Where
against a Ravens team that you can throw as well.
Exactly. You want that deep threat, or you want that massive human of DK Metcalf, like catching the ball and then yards after catch with him. I've got to tip the Ravens on this one. It's going to be their equivalent of it's their Sunday night football game, so it's midday for us on that Monday. Book your work meetings during that time. Get your laptop up. Hide your phone under your desk. Whatever you got to do. Hold your phone in the tractor. Just make sure it's not running. We do not condone watching football and driving, but do what you got to do to get this game on and live, because it's going to be a thriller.
And the whole Aaron Rodgers narrative too, just to come out and finish. He wants to finish strong. So TJ Watt is a bit of an unknown at the moment. I think they've said that he should be playing, but he has missed quite a while with his injury as well. So if he comes out and plays, I think that is a different story, because he's one person that could go toe-to-toe with Derrick Henry and might actually stop him.
He's the one player that would, unstoppable force into an immovable object. That's what those two players would be like, running at one another. I hope he is out, because not like out on the field,
out there.
Because seeing that matchup, it's just going to be magic.
I'm going to back Rodgers and the Steelers just because I still love him, and he's still. I think it's just fairy tale ending, and the script writers just said we want a real good game to finish the season, and this is the way it's fallen, which is nice.
Yeah, give me the Ravens. Just think Lamar coming back and forcing himself back, and after their performance against you, which I thought would have been a much closer game, they looked impressive. They did look more impressive than what they have. Like, their defense kind of stood up, which hasn't really done at all so far this season. So if they can keep that, and as I said, DK Metcalf being out, I think it's going to have a bigger impact than anyone's giving credit for.
100%, which you look back at that stupid decision a couple of weeks ago, and geez, that's going to hurt them. Let's talk some punting, mate. Brought to us by our good friends at Unibet. We've got a massive week, and they're right up and around us at the moment too. Our 1K club. Now, we started this 9 weeks ago. We're 7-9 in this 1K club. The 2 games we lost, or the 2 weeks we lost, were injury-laden weeks. I think Stafford hurt himself and didn't quite finish the game out, which really hurt one of them especially. But we're on a tear at the moment, and you've got some exciting news. You have posted it to the socials, but can you spill it out for us now, mate? Yeah,
so we've been running it we were rolling all our winnings over. I said weeks ago that we're going to turn $10 into 1K using our 1K club. And the exciting part is this week we're actually there. Not only that, we won like $374 off us rolling last week, and we only had to put $256 on this week. So we've actually pocketed $85. So worst case scenario, we've turned $10 into 85. But that doesn't have as good a ring to it. But yeah, this week we're going all out for it. So we've got $286 on the line. It's paying $3.50, and the payout is going to be $1,000 and one.
And one. Just the one. Who we got? Trevor Lawrence, Sam Darnold, Matt Stafford,
and Drake Maye. So all these players have so much to play for. They're the four quarterbacks that we've mainly spoke about during this episode, and there's a reason for that because they're all going out there and still have so much to do and so much to prove. All they have to do is average 250 yards. And I think they're going to do so much more than that.
Yeah. I feel like this is not, we're not going to say it's a layup, but this is pretty close. So make sure you get around it's the featured bets in the Unibet slip. Get on it. $286, which if you're following us, like you said, you're going to bank 85 already. That'll get you 1,000, and then our $10 to 1K will hit. But we've got some other games and some incentive bets. This is always a good time of the year. A lot of the games will unfortunately not mean anything, and it's teams that are just playing against rivals and things like that. But players, betting on individual players and their results is where we're going to make our money. So we've got some incentive bets for you to look out for, Danny boy.
Yeah, so the first is Sam Darnold. If he throws 4,000 yards, he's going to get 500K. Well, he only needs 150 to get there. So let's just make him throw 250 to really help our 1K club. So that's why we're throwing that one in there. Another one to look at is Tony Pollard needs 1,100 rush yards, and he's getting 250K. So he's got 66 left. I think he's been averaging like high 80s lately and going up against this Jags team. Be interesting to see how that goes. Deebo Samuel needs 800 receiving yards for 200K. But like I said, they're playing the third string QB. So have a sniff if you're feeling confident, but he still needs 93 yards, which is quite a lot for him so far this year. Khalil Shakir needs a single touchdown to get 150,000. Definitely jumping on that one.
Against Hunter the Jets, Henry, too. I don't hate it.
Against the Jets. Hunter Henry needs 5 receptions for 250 grand. And like this list goes on. Another important one, actually, before we move on, actually two on the defensive side. Von Miller needs 1 sack for 500 grand, and Joey Bosa needs 1 sack against the Jets for 250. They're like my favorites, but like you can go on, look at the NFL website. They've actually got the full list of all the incentives and like what the players need and for how much money. Like some of them are all the way up to $1 million. Like they're worth having a look at for sure. Like all those, I'm definitely going to be backing 110%.
And things like Myles Garrett, he needs a half a sack. So you put him down for 1 to break the sack record. So he'll be hungry for that one for sure. And he's versing the Bengals. So an offensive line that struggles a little bit. So maybe put him in for 2 or 3 just to really make sure that record is his. Heaps to get around though this week, mate. Massive week 18. 2026 is the year we're just going to make bucket loads of money.
Oh, we are absolutely on fire. Like Happy New Year to us. Because then if we even like look back further, we're going to have to clip a lot of things. Like our preseason picks for player of the year, coach of the year. I think we fucked up the rookies, but everything else is looking really good. So I can't wait for all these season awards to start ticking over so we can see that money in that Unibet account keep on ticking up.
Like I said, Matty Stafford only needs 2 or 3 for 45 touchdowns, which we had. There's a couple. Oh no, I don't think the interceptions are a chance. Although the Bears against the Lions, if they throw a couple, I know they've got around 7 or 8. So you never know. Heaps of clips that I'll be needing to get around anyway, mate. Good luck to your Birds on Sunday, Monday for us. My Packers are on nice and early to watch them lose against the Vikings, which will be good fun. And then we're into the real serious part of the season, which I can't wait, mate.
Oh, it's going to be so good. Nothing is better than playoff football, and that's why we're getting around the college playoff football now. But do you know what's better than that? NFL playoff football.
So like us, follow us, subscribe, all the good things. Actually, one final thing. Get around. We have a DeWalt prize pack to give away right up until the 5th. So you've still got 3 or 4 days. Get around that for a chance to win a prize pack or a jersey or some Coles Myers gift card just to make this time of year a little bit less expensive, I guess, as it is a very expensive time of the year. As always, mate, go Pack, go.